walks away.
I was watching that scene. I watched all 3 deleted scenes, one of which is one of the most depressing things I've ever seen.
We're going to get there.
Life.
We're going to get there.
But after I watched them, I didn't watch them in the correct order. So I watched 4, 3, then 2, then I rewatched 1 just for fun. But when I got to the sax, I was like, oh, thank you. And I just kind of hung out with my lavender eucalyptus scented candle and just let it take me where I wanted to go.
Well, where I want to go is that deleted scene. So, yes, there is a deleted scene number 3 on the disc. Is the only one we haven't covered so far because there is no way it could plausibly fit into the film. And so we're just going to talk about it now. It is, as Nick said, one of the most depressing things you can hear. It is a young Misty talking to her mother, who is wearing a kind of a knitted cap. But it looks like she probably has some kind of cancer or debilitating disease. And they're talking about how Misty's dad left because he couldn't cope with the mum's illness and just abandoned them. But the mum just tells her daughter that she loves her and she always will. And that's the scene. It's I'm so glad it's not in the film. There is no way that could go. It would have to go like early on before we meet Misty, but we meet her immediately after the shark finners. So it would be like you watch the shark finners die, and then you have this scene of the mother talking about how the dad left her when she got sick. Or the film opens with this scene. Can you imagine? You put in Deep Blue Sea 2, and the first thing you get is a sick mother and her daughter talking on a beach about how the dad left, and then cut to shark finners being killed. Where could this go?
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You know what I think? It would have to be Carl Durant yelling at her. Like, why'd you get into this? For the money, the prestige, to show students videos of yourself swimming? And then that exact Wayne's World flashes. They take their street hockey stuff off the street, and then they go to that flashback.
Why do you hate men? Why do you hate all men? The one man who left.
Yeah. Wait, so that's why? Yeah, it's just Carl Durant's yelling at her. Yeah. And then you do the flash.
Oh, dear. I'm so glad it's not in the film.
They should have left Mike's in.
She's looking out the window, and they're like, Dr. Calhoun, is everything okay? And then she has to, come back to what's going on.
What? Oh, it shakes her head and kind of smells all good.
Yeah, I think they maybe should have left in the Trent and Misty deleted scene of when they're having a little conversation over the welding. They could have left Mike's one in just because it's so inconsequential. It could have been added to a scene and we wouldn't have even discussed it had that been the case. I think if those 20 seconds had been added to any one of the earlier scenes, it wouldn't have even come up in my description of what happens. And what's the other deleted scene?
Well, it's with Paul Giamatti.
Oh, yes, of course. When he's trying to get his boys back. Because he sent out the drone that comes out and he wants to get his drone back and the drone gets eaten by a shark. And I can't do a Giamatti impression, so I can't say what he would say.
Get my voice back. That's a callback to Uncut Giamatti, episode 2.
Episode 2 of Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah, only listen to this one.
Okay, the actual deleted scene is the shark finner's phone landing on the bottom of the sea.
Oh yeah,
that one.
Picture it. Yeah. They should have kept that in because
they should have.
That's funny. That's pretty wicked. That's a sight gag. I like a good sight gag.
Mm-hmm.
They should have kept that in.
Yes, I agree.
Watching this again, though, I do not, after all is said and done, I do not like Josh.
No, Josh is terrible.
Right?
He's Josh and Daniel are the two characters I'm glad you two are dead. And the shark finners, of course. Those four, fine. And, I was never a big fan of Craig, even just aside from his horrible taste of clothing. He's the lawyer, Nick. I don't like it.
I know who these people are. I just watched it last night.
My apologies. I know a lot of them they have names, but they're not said a lot. I think.
Josh, though, there's nothing redeeming about him. So Craig gets a scene where listen. Carl Durant is losing it. He makes me wear these ties. He's going crazy. Let's we got to do something. And then he gets eaten. You're like, oh, okay, that's redemption. Jeremy, none, because for 7 months he sold his wife's research, which created mega sharks, which then spawned baby mega sharks, which then ate his fiance. That basically built the sharks. Created the sharks behind her back, and he took the money. Yeah, so he gets no sympathy from me. So you're right. I think, okay, for you, who's the most unlikable, Daniel or Josh? What do you think, Nick?
I gotta go Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. I go Josh. I don't like either of them, but Josh is just complaining. I feel like Daniel's at least trying to do some good. Yes, he's in it to make money, but he's also helping progress the scientific research, whereas Josh is it's just a job to Josh, I feel like. He's just getting out of his mum's basement. But then Daniel did steal his wife's research.
Yeah, that's massive.
And he only told her because she'd find out anyway, and he didn't tell her because of Durant's shady reputation, his exact words. I don't want to tell you because Durant's shady reputation. If that's shady, then don't get in business with him. But he's even during the conversation, he said, it's okay, Durant's a good guy, he's got the money, but that shady reputation. Yeah, I take it back. Daniel's the worst.
Yeah, Daniel's the worst.
Yeah.
Because Josh is just a turd, right?
Yes.
He's
basically, he's a little burglar.
Daniel's an aggressive turd.
Yeah, he just complains. I hate how he yells at Aaron, though. I think we never see Daniel get in a scene where he yells at somebody. Like, yes, he does tell his wife that he's been stealing for her for 7 months, and the only reason he tells her is because she's about to find out. But he's not yelling or complaining. He has great quad strength. So, we never see him yelling. But overall, he's the worst. But Josh is just mean to Aaron. And then he gets eaten in the shower.
They both have great deaths is the problem. They both have the shower death and the ladder death. The two are the best.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and listen, I know Daniel can still climb ladders after he's been eaten in half. But I don't think Josh could do that. So it's a point to Daniel, but Daniel still is the worst.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Agreed.
If all these characters were bit in half, which one would get and they all had their own ladders, who could climb to the top the fastest?
The fastest.
I mean, my heart says Trent.
Yeah,
but
he's got a lot of upper body strength.
Part of me feels like it's Carl.
I don't know.
He's taking those shark blood Jello shots, and I feel like after a while he's just going to be just heave-hoeing up the ladder, just grabbing it and launching himself up there.
Oh, so he's taking performance-enhancing shark brain.
Yeah, exactly. He's unlocking his body's potential. Meanwhile, Trent, he's making an effort. He's doing the monkey bars thing. But Carl is just getting up there to a point where you're like, man, I hope he makes it. Like, I know he's wrong, but God, I want to see him survive.
Call me crazy, but I think since Trent and Carl, they're really muscular guys, the lactic acid is going to build up and they're going to get burnt out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that could be an issue. I don't think Josh would just quit. Darren would try. I think, let's see, Leslie would give it a shot. Aaron, okay, I think it's going to come down to Aaron, Daniel, or Misty. Because Misty has the guts to gut it out. Right? She's going to keep going. She's brave. Then you have spry Aaron, but I don't think he could do it. So I think it's coming down to Daniel or Misty.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron's got he's the Silicon Valley job guy. He's the tech guy. I don't think he does a lot of exercising, a lot of gym work. So yeah, it's Misty and Daniel in a race to the top.
I think everyone's going to lose all their blood while climbing, and Misty's just going to be like, I can still do it. Yeah. Misty's going to power through.
Yeah, and she's wearing the wetsuit, which would be more difficult to bite through, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yep.
And Trent's just going to be thinking, I'm just climbing up a ladder like from Chutes and Ladders the whole time.
Joy ladder. Yeah. Now, I'm sorry to step on your toes with that, Nick, when I hope that I'm not taking your pick, but I really think Misty would be the last one or half one standing.
I mean, is it standing? If it's just a
just kind of there, just existing.
Yeah.
No, I think it's smart. One thing to also think about too is the way she wears her wetsuits. There's less of it at the top, right? Yeah. So that's less weight bringing her down. So she'd be able to. What I'm getting is her outfits are obscene throughout the rest of the movie. Like there's no need to be dressed like that at all.
Don't know what you're talking about, Nick. We haven't discussed it every week on this show.
She would Black Knight it, right? She would be like, this is just a flesh wound. Right? The Coast Guard comes. Yeah. Holy mackerel. Nope, just a flesh wound.
Just a scratch.
Yeah. And then she would get Kevin Kline legs from Wild Wild West that she got from the robots. And she would be in the sequel.
Hate to correct you, Mark, but it's Kenneth Branagh legs in Wild Wild West.
Oh, Kenneth Branagh. Oh, I said Kevin Kline legs?
He's in it too, but yeah.
Oh man,
No
there's
one
two
likes
Kenneth.
Kenneth Branagh, so in my mind, I imagine Klein, and I'm like, this is way better. His legs go in and out.
Oh, if he was playing three roles in that film, he was playing himself, the president, and Kenneth Branagh, and Lovejoy, I
He's
think his
playing
name is.
Kenneth Branagh as Spider-Legs.
Yeah.
I just thought about something.
He's doing a real Tilda Swinton.
He's in A Fish Called Wanda.
Yes, he is.
Popular movie, epic movie. Got an Oscar nomination.
He got an Oscar win.
Oh yeah, you're right, for a comedy. Phoebe Cates was in Fast Times' famous pool scene. This is a very famous kind of waterlogged couple. Gremlins has snow and water.
Yeah,
Okay, a bit of a stretch, but I'll allow it.
What do you think?
I'm trying to think
Dave?
of any other Kevin Kline aquatic-based films. None are springing to mind.
A water moment in Dave. There's got to be. In
Yes,
and out.
I
I'm
think he's
fairly
showering.
certain there's a pool.
Wait, he's showering in Dave, right?
See, there we go.
Yep. And then Sigourney Weaver, hey, call back. She's like, hey.
Orange County, he tells the guy to leave the book on the beach that's next to the water.
Yep.
Good pool.
The
Yeah,
ice
famous
storm
waterlogged.
is frozen water.
Done. See, I told y'all.
The shame of it is water everywhere, but not a drop to drink.
Yeah. The Pirates of Penzance, he's the Pirate King. There's got to be on water.
Hey, speaking of water, Jay, were you able to do the math and figure out how much of this film was water? Because I'm watching this and I'm like, there's a hell of a lot of water in here.
Well, Nick, I'm glad you asked. I did, actually. I went back and revised all the maths. Sorry, for the whole film, because I had been estimating the depth of Achilles and the ocean floor throughout, because there's action at both. And I took a ruler to my screen and measured various shots of the externals of the facility, and I've estimated that the depth of Achilles is about 32, 34 meters deep, which equates to about 104 feet. So all the action taking place on Achilles is at that depth. So then,
Mandy Moore would love this movie.
And how?
Because she was 47 meters deep. 32 doesn't seem so bad compared.
that's true. I mean, the ocean floor is about 76 meters deep, roughly.
She would hate this movie then.
That's almost double. So this chapter is not very deep, because a lot of it's on there's 41 seconds on the ground, and then a little bit of the shark swimming underwater. So I averaged about minus 2.5 meters deep. So this is the second shallowest chapter of the film, second only to the first chapter, where it's mostly on a boat. But blueness, also not very blue, because a lot of this scene is credits, which is all entirely black. So this chapter is only 14% black, which means that I have the results of what is the deepest, bluest chapter of Deep Blue Sea 2, and that was Chapter 7, which took place entirely in the corridors, the colourful corridors, because it's all very deep, and it's 41% blue, because there's whole swathes of that chapter that are 100% blue. But how do you think it stacks up against the first film? Do you reckon it's deeper and or bluer than Deep Blue Sea?
I think both.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say Chapter 7's deeper and bluer.
But I'm talking about the film as a whole.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you reckon it's deeper and bluer than the entirety of Deep Blue Sea?
Yes. And here's another interesting thing. No hats.
Indeed. No hats, like shark fins or not. This
Exactly.
is a shark fin like hatless film. Yeah.
Thumbs down for that.
Indeed, that is one of the ways that this film is worse. Also, we haven't got to it, but there's no end credit song. It's just kind of instrumental. It's just anyway, whatever. So Deep Blue Sea, the first one, was on average 30.25% blue and minus 15 meters deep. So Deep Blue Sea 2 is 33 and a third % blue. It's exactly 1/3 blue. So it is a fraction bluer, and it is on average 21.5 meters deep. So it is both deeper and bluer than Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, that's amazing. I knew it.
Sequels accomplished, fellas.
Sequels, you got to go bluer, you got to go deeper.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jay, hit us with those numbers one more time.
So
Just once.
Deep Blue Sea 1, 15 meters deep, 30% blue. Deep Blue Sea 2, 21.5 meters deep, 33% blue. Thank you, Nick.
Just wonderful.
So tune back in 11 weeks' time to find out how